All right, Cap, Ja, we in for another installment. What is this? Installment number 6?
I think it might be the 6 or 7.
Shrewd News installment number 6, man. We like to welcome y'all to another episode.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about today. We definitely gonna get into the leak that came from the Supreme Court about them overturning abortion rights, and excuse me, and we're gonna ask the question: why doesn't anybody believe Meg? I thought we was protecting black women. It seemed like uh, black women are taking a lot of devastating blows lately. So
Yeah.
before we get into that though, how you doing? Like just outside of the news and everything.
Oh man, just every day is a great day, man. It's like amazing. Anything less than that is, I feel like I'm not appreciative.
Damn,
you know.
damn, that's good. Bob with a real positive outlook today. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say every day is a good day. I've been having a lot of good days though. I'm
Yeah.
chilling. It's Taco Tuesday tonight.
Oh yeah. We definitely got it
I,
on the pot.
I'm drinking
What you
simply.
sipping on?
I,
Okay.
simply right out the bottle. Oh damn! I hope we don't violate nothing on YouTube.
I hope so too. If not,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
is what it is. We'll learn
yeah,
from
yeah.
it.
They what it. But I'm drinking simply lemonade out of the bottle this evening.
For real, they ain't giving us no sponsorship. You dig me?
Yeah, yeah. But without further ado, man, how do you feel about the Supreme Court? Well, first, before we get into how we feel, let's get into the facts. Let's put the facts before our feelings, man. What we know is that there was a leak from the Supreme Court where they're talking about overturning abortion rights. It could be illegal. That's going to affect us a lot of ways. Let's see what the political article has to say about it. Let me see if I can do a little screen share on that too, because I want to start with the facts before we begin to opine. Everybody
For
talk
real.
about how they feel.
Yeah, it ain't always about how you feel.
Yeah. All right. So see if you can screen share with me, right? I'm gonna at least read the beginning of this this article from Politico.
Yeah,
You see it?
gotcha. Yeah.
All right. Now you see the title here is the Supreme Court has voted to overturn abortion rights. A draft opinion shows. It's just a draft opinion. It's not official yet, but this is an official document. They've already uh, verified that the document is real. They opened up an investigation about how it got leaked. It's so serious, but just a big quotable from it is, we hold that Roe and Casey must be overruled. He writes in the document labeled as the opinion of the court. And it's time to heed the Constitution and return the issue of abortion to the people's elected representatives. So they're trying to make this like a decision, going from state by state. They got the actual documents, they got receipts here on a political
Mm-hmm.
article, and we know Politico is a fairly, reliable source. They left leaning, but I trust them. Another quote: Roe was egregiously wrong from the start. Its reasoning was exceptionally weak, and the decision has had damaging consequences. And far from bringing about a national settlement of the abortion issue, Roe and Casey have inflamed debate and deepened division. So, this is a scathing document. They're definitely showing that they're not with abortion rights.
Right.
I wanted to show something else. Yeah, but that exceptionally weak thing stood out to me. What's another part of this? So yeah, it's not official yet. Just going from that, what's your like? Oh yeah, we could probably stop sharing. My bad. We getting it together. We getting into that. But yeah, what's your initial reaction to that? Just knowing that abortion might be illegal.
When I think about that, man, I think about the kids. So it's
Yeah,
like, it's a real tough one. You know what I mean? Because
yeah,
I can respect us keeping the kids here. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I can respect that, but in certain situations, I can respect what how someone would feel with their body, but
Yeah.
having kids is
Yes.
just like I mean, it's hard for someone who have kids to just, not go along with what they're saying. You get what I mean?
I do get what you mean. And you're a father, for those who don't know. How many kids do you have now,
Have
Bob?
four,
Four.
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I can see that part of me can say, yes, I have to, I agree with this. I don't
Mm.
want to see no kids have to be able to have their lives in somebody else's hands when they
Okay,
weren't put
so
here.
yeah. So I think that we could both agree that we want to do what's best for the kids.
Hmm.
Let's start there.
Yeah.
Because I'm for abortion rights. So we could both find a beginning point where we agree. We want what's best for the kids. We're definitely not for killing babies. I think we
Right.
can both agree on that, right?
Yeah.
Now, I think what gets confused is what's a baby. We have to remember that
Mm.
terminating a pregnancy and abortion is not the same as killing a baby.
Mm.
What is a baby? A fetus, an embryo? That's not a baby in my book. And honestly, I'm not a biologist. You're not a
Right.
biologist either. So I think that we should defer to expertise. And what science is telling us is it takes, we could look that up, but they're saying that I think it takes up to 24 weeks before a fetus reaches the age of viability when they're saying it's a it's a baby. Now, I think that's what we really need to decide is what is a baby, because just like you said, you approaching the issue as a father, you love your kids, you don't want to see, but in your mind you thinking it's a baby in there.
Right.
I'm saying that I don't think it's a baby, and I think that's something that they're selling to people to tug on their heartstrings. And I think there's a big difference between killing a baby and terminating a pregnancy. Another thing, I think you'll hear a lot of times Republicans will say that you can hear a heartbeat at
Mm.
6 weeks.
Yeah.
Have you heard that before?
Yes, I heard that before.
Well, what if I told you that scientists would say that that's what we call um, a reflexive cardiac activity?
Okay.
It's not truly a heartbeat.
Mm.
You see how we're not
Gotcha.
trained? We could look at something and be like, that's a heartbeat. And a biologist might be like, well, actually, that's reflective cardiac activity. That's not, you know how you can have a fish that's still swimming even though it's nothing in them? Like, it's just a reflective type of activity. You know how a chicken with his head cut off is running
Right.
around
Keep
with his
running.
tummy?
Yeah.
It don't necessarily mean that the chicken is running away. I'm just saying that there's a lot of things about biology that is outside of the depths of my, comprehension. You know what I'm saying? So I got to refer to expertise. And I think a lot of the talking points that I've heard that the Republicans are using, I don't think that they have a scientific basis. I mean, what is
Right.
like the best arguments that you've heard against abortion, Bob? Like why it's bad, other than the we want to keep babies here. I get that. We agree.
Well, I think it also comes with the irresponsibility of some of us and how we do with picking partners and what do we do with the partner. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of people that are they're, you know, the fact of them, because we see, there's some kids that are, there's some moms that has six, seven, in certain countries, you only can have so many kids. Certain places like China, it's definitely a kind of control. So I think, have you heard about that where, certain I mean, not certain countries. I think only China does that. I can only imagine, right?
I've heard something like that, but I kind of want to make sure that we stay on track from the standpoint of I think we started with what are some of the best arguments that you've heard against like having a woman have their choice, and I think that you said you started saying that it's the irresponsibility of people picking partners. So you think if I understand what you, it sounded like you're saying that we shouldn't have abortions because people should have consequences for picking the wrong partners. Is that kind of where you're saying?
I don't want to say, yeah, it's. I
It's
don't even
correct.
want
I
to.
want to put words in your mouth. It
Yeah,
just
yeah.
yeah.
It's like, I feel that if you will lay, with someone, and y'all happen to have, the woman gets pregnant, and
Yeah.
you guys didn't really see having a kid,
Yeah.
and now you come to a point where you're like, yeah, why don't we? I think that's where it gets touchy. I think for me, that's an argument where.
So you're saying like there should be a consequence for that. Like y'all, they should have a consequence for that. Like you
I
shouldn't
don't
be
think it
able
should
to.
be a consequence. I think we
Yeah.
need to teach our youth and teach people that when we're doing things, we got to be careful and be sure because we're bringing another life into play here. So we got to understand what we're doing and what can happen before we just, oh my gosh, I'm pregnant. You know what I mean? And
Okay. Well, I think that's a good place where we could agree too. I think that we should be talking about family planning and we should be talking about
exactly.
consequences of what can happen. But I still don't see that as a reason why we shouldn't have abortions. Now, what what I hear people saying is that you shouldn't be able to get an abortion because it's kind of like a strict father morality type of thing. Like that's what I think the sentiment of a lot of people is. Like you shouldn't be able to have sex and get somebody pregnant and kind of just get out of it like that. You know what I'm saying? Once somebody's pregnant, you should be able to go through with it. And what I'm trying to say is it don't have to be like that. Like some people have sex just for pleasure. It's not for procreation. Even though that's not consistent with the will of God. That's not what's in the Bible.
Right.
People are free to do that. A lot of
Right.
people like
Right.
that. But I'm saying you're free to do that. And I think that a lot of times, more likely than not, this is what I encounter. Religious people have a problem with that. They're like, look, you shouldn't be just having sex and getting people pregnant and getting off the hook like that. Sex is supposed to be about procreation. So, and there's even stories about the Bible where, I think God might have been mad about somebody spilling their seed. Like if you were to, masturbate or something like that, like that's against the rules because the semen is not being used for procreation. So it goes back to that. So what I'm trying to say is that's not a compelling argument for me. Like there needs to be a consequence because I think we got the technology. If you get somebody pregnant and it's before the time that scientists and biologists are saying that it's reached the age of viability. This is an age of viability means that this is something that if I'm defining this correctly, it means that when the baby could live on its own. This is when it's something separate from you. When it becomes a baby, as we know. So if we could terminate a pregnancy before it gets to that point and it's still part of your body, I think that's the same thing as a man using a condom, because the sperm is alive, you know what I'm saying? But we've curved it to the point where it's not gonna
Go
come
in. Yeah.
for you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like
Not
we
gonna
know how these
fertilize.
things work, you know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
don't think it's nothing morally wrong with an abortion. So let me ask you this, Bob.
Yeah.
Are you it seems like you kind of, you are conflicted, like, you might be against abortions at some stage, you know, because you don't want to stop the life of a baby. So I'm pretty much against late term abortions too. Anything past the age of viability, I would be against it. So would you be willing to say that you're okay with abortions, you know,
At a
before
certain
the age
time.
of,
Yeah.
of viability?
You mean like a Plan B pill and stuff like that?
Or like an early term abortion before 24 weeks. You know, if this is what science says, would you be saying like I'm okay with those abortions, or would you be somebody who has a hardline opinion and who's just like against any abortions of any kind at any point?
Is abortions considered surgery? That's a question I got first before I answer that. Is that considered a surgery process, or is it just like
I
you
think
take
I don't think.
something and
I mean, there's different types of
different real
abortion.
scenario, right?
There's
Give
different
you
ways to terminate a pregnancy. I think
right.
one of those would be. I think one of those would qualify as a surgery. I mean, you're going into a doctor's office. They're inserting something in you. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I don't know. We could probably look that up. But there are ways to terminate a
Take
pregnancy where you
pills.
just take a pill. So I'm saying which ones are you for? Which ones are you against? What can we get? Can we?
I would be. I mean, I remember with my experience. I remember in my early days, I had young ladies I was messing with, and anytime I would have a problem, I would have them take the Plan B. But I would always think like, dang, they taking this Plan B, and if it's gonna kill the baby, what is that side effects to them? Like, what would that do to someone that would keep taking that, or you know what I mean? That they keep taking the pill to kill the baby, and
Well, that's a good question, and we could talk about the health concerns of Plan Bs, but I really want to get a straight answer out of you. Like ask me if I'm
it's
against
tough.
abortion. Ask me. Like,
all right, are you against abortion?
No, I think it's a woman's choice. I think they should have access to abortions. If it's before the age of viability, I'm all for a woman having the choice for it. You know, I'm going to answer it straight up. I can say yes or no. So I'm asking you, are you for any type of abortion? Like,
if I had to pick a side, if I had to pick a side,
pick a side.
If I had to pick a side, I would go with no abortion. You know what
I
mean?
No abortion.
Yeah.
So when you hear about the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade possibly and making that something that's illegal, this is good news to you.
I ain't gonna say it's good news to me. I'm just saying I can understand on your side, but if I had to really, it's a tough, if I had to say, hey, look,
stand on it. You just
I have to stand on it. I have to stand with him. That's what I'm telling you. I have to say, look, bro, I gotta stand with a no abortion because I see too many areas where it could be a health concern. And like I would want the mom to have if it didn't affect the baby. I would kind of be for that. We could take something, but I need to know the health concerns on that because I wouldn't want young kids or young women that's 16, 17, 18 years old. They're doing that and they're taking all of this stuff to their 25, 26 years old and, something happens to them.
But Bob, there's alternate ways to have an abortion. So
it is right. So that's what I'm saying.
This stuff is already regulated. We got a whole system that's saying that. Look, and plus it's somebody's choice. Look, BBLs are not the healthiest thing to do, but we're letting people get those. You know, and then you keep saying you want to do what's best for the baby, and I want you to pay attention that you're conflating killing a baby with terminating a pregnancy, and those are two totally different things.
Right. Yeah. I don't want to. Right. With the Plan B, like I don't want to say that that's an abortion. I don't want to say that. My main concern
it's terminating a pregnancy.
It's terminating a pregnancy, but it's not like killing a kid. Like you said, it's not a baby.
I don't think unless it's a late term thing, it's not. And I think that I'm basing my feelings on that on science. I'm not looking at an ultrasound as me as a regular layman like, oh, that's a baby, or thinking that because like a fetus has a soul, and like somebody like I'm not thinking on those terms. You know what I'm saying? I'm not emotional about it either. If science were to come out tomorrow and say, you know what, we've now determined that the age of viability is, really in 5 weeks. We could say that this is, an entity aside from a woman's body, you know what I'm saying? But it's just we're not there yet. When you look at the science, they're saying that the age of viability is way down the line. I've seen uh I've seen the figure 24 weeks. We could go back and forth about what that is, or
Yeah.
listen to the science or get the scientific, consensus on that. But to say that, I could never say that I'm just against abortion straight across the board. I couldn't, man.
I couldn't either, but if I had to
You just said that though. You just
if
said
I
that.
had to stand on it, like I don't want to be I don't want to be neutral with you. I want to stand on the side with you. That's why I would say if I had to choose one, okay.
If you had to choose one, if you had to vote on it, if you had to vote
on it, I would vote on that. I would be on that side. Okay.
Wow.
Now I don't want you to feel like I'm just totally against abortion, because that's not what it is. But I'm a father. I mean, what do you want me to? This is a bias. I'm giving you a bias. Giving you a biased answer. So I would stand on it, man. I would think that. But like you said, if it was predetermined, it was a pill you could take, and it wasn't a baby, I don't think that would be wrong at all. I don't think that would be a bad thing, but I just don't like.
You want somebody to take on a burden that they don't want because of like your feelings about they should have a baby. Do you have any adopted kids?
No.
So you want people to have babies that they don't want to have, but you don't even want to adopt a kid. You ain't even adopt one, but you gonna make somebody take on a responsibility that they don't even want to have. How that sound?
Well, I would say this. If we would ban abortion, I think we would need to put something in place to where if someone did have a kid and they didn't want to, like, okay, I didn't want this kid. You guys ban abortion. Hey, man, let's put our money together with taxpayers and make sure that this baby has a home and this baby is cared for properly.
But you know what? Not very often you never hear people
nobody doing
that kind of stuff. They just want to say no abortion, but they don't want to give baby to help. And the people who say that don't want to adopt the kid.
Well, think about it like this. When you got to pay to get an abortion, you have to pay money. It's not free, even if you take the pill or whatever, right? So if we would say no abortion, right? How much money does abortion bring in, as far as how much abortions that take place?
Actually, abortions, right? Access to safe abortions actually saves us a lot of money. Taxpayers' money. There's evidence behind that. If I have more time to prepare, I could bring that to you. We're doing a research. We're massaging issues together. We're researching things in real time. I got a few little notes here, so that's something that we can dig into deeper about. If the abortions are really saving us money or they costing us money. Because people not having too many kids might actually be a good thing. We don't need to have people who can't pay for their kids, because what are they going to need? They're going to need more housing. They're going to need more food stamps, and who pays for that?
Like you said, right. But just like you say, how in China, they have a control. You can't just, you get what I mean?
Well, that's what I'm trying to say.
They do probably have abortion. Like, hey, look, man, you got 4 kids. It's only 4 you can have. I heard you're pregnant. We're killing them. So, I mean, would you want something? I don't know. You get what I mean? Like, how? It's very tough. It's
a complex issue.
It's a complex issue.
Yeah, but I commend you for even going that deep into it and thinking about these different scenarios, because a lot of people just have a knee-jerk reaction and they're just on one side of the fence, or that's how my mama feel, or that's what and they just go with that. So I think in time I might be able to convince you that the giving people the choice to do what they want to do with their
With their
bodies is the
body
best
is
way. I think
important.
I could convince you, but
Yeah, I think
for
so
right,
too.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think so too.
For right now, I think that we had a healthy discussion. Wait, before we leave off of that, I want people to also pay attention that Oklahoma just passed a law to ban abortions after 6 weeks. So they've been working on this for a while. This is a decision that they
So you
know.
got up to 6 weeks. Look, if you find out you're pregnant after that
which is
month,
usually 4 to
it's like
5
a month,
weeks.
right?
Yeah,
Once
4
you
to 5
find
weeks.
out, you got to make a decision. now
And you got a
listen,
week. You got a week.
right? So listen, that is time. That time is because people probably need some time to goddamn. I mean,
But what they're trying to do, Bob, I'm glad that you recognize that what they're trying to do, which is unconstitutional at this point, they're putting an undue burden on the woman to get an abortion, which they're not supposed to
exactly,
do. But you see how crafty they are, and you know how they pass something like that. They use that argument. They say, look, there's a heartbeat. After 6 weeks, it's a baby in there. And then they catch guys like you and they say, Bob, you got to vote against that. They're killing babies. You got kids, Bob. You going to let them do that to the baby? And now you think it's a baby in there. You know what I'm saying?
right,
And it's really nothing but reflexive cardiac, activity. And when
right,
people feel people feel so strongly about this issue, they'll say, you know what, I'm gonna vote Republican down the ticket because I feel so strongly about abortion.
exactly.
I don't care if they're shitting on black people. I don't care if they're doing stuff to hurt poor people. I gotta save these babies, so I gotta vote for a Republican, and it's effective. It works. So I just feel like we gotta
Another
overstand
topic.
things, man.
Another one I want to bring up before you leave this.
Okay.
The ethnicity of who is getting these abortions would kind of make me feel like I would like to know, like, where these abortions, like, if we have a lot of abortions, let's say it's 100,000 abortions a year, okay? Are these in the more of the low income that's getting abortions? Or are these the middle class? I would like to know,
Why would it matter?
It would matter to me because if we're getting abortions, I would just like to know, for me being from my people and my culture, I would like to know, is it more of people that are more younger? Is it more of people that are just, I would like to know more statistics on the people that's getting, why they're getting the abortions, and just a little bit more information on how we could fix it without going this route. You know what I mean? So that's all I would.
Yeah. Well, I'm on board with that. We're actually studying that. That science is being studied. There's a whole practice behind family planning and
right,
safe sex and preventative measures.
right,
Everything from abstinence to condoms, male and female condoms, to birth control. They even
yeah,
have a rhythm method that people go to where they'll have sex only when a woman is not ovulating. There's a lot of ways you could go about it, outside of abortion. But I feel like at the end of the day, that's a woman's body. You should be
yeah.
able to do whatever you want to do with your body. If science has determined that it's not a baby in there, let me do what I want, and
It makes sense.
that was a good thing though. We should know, but you know what, it sounded for a minute like you was gonna bring up one of those Republican talking points that I feel like they try to use on us, where they're like, it's more black babies getting aborted than anything, you know, which that's okay. It doesn't really change my stance on it, but my whole thing is when you ban abortions, the people who are going to get affected by that the most are black women. And
Right.
I think we should be protecting the black woman. That was a big theme at one point, and it seemed like now it's cool to beat up on black women. Now, I'm all about being objective. If somebody does something wrong, we should be able to criticize them and everything like that. But I feel like this is something that we should be protecting black women on. Like, they need protection right now. Black women have, the black people in general have the least access to health care. We got the lowest incomes. So when it
Right.
comes to having too many kids and having, when it comes to having that healthcare access, I'm studying over my work. It always hits us the hardest. That's why we got hit by
Right.
COVID the hardest. That's why we get
That's
hit
what I'm
by,
saying. Like, my whole point is what you're saying. It's like you're saying we have a lot of deaths with other things that has nothing to do with abortion. I mean, with shootings, I probably say with health, we have a lot of issues too that, people are dying. So that's what just would make it alarming to me, just like you said.
Yeah. I just want to remind you again, Bob. Terminating a pregnancy is
it's not the
has
baby.
nothing to do with people
I don't
dying.
want to.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah. I don't want to.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't want to mix the two. But
they'll
it
do that.
is. They'll do that
Yeah.
after. You get what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure there's babies that because you got to think they just said you got up to this time. It's probably people that had abortions at 3 months. 4 months, you know what I mean, before real life. I'm saying that.
Well, look, we can talk about those and whether we should not have those. That's why I was asking, were you against them across the board, or were there some weeks where you would say that if science were to determine that
science would determine it's not a heartbeat, definitely I would be more.
You would be swayed to say, okay, this is a baby and this is not a baby.
Yeah,
and we can have safe abortions that don't involve a baby's life in it. You know what I'm saying?
I don't like the fact when it gets to the surgery, when someone has to cut them open and pull something out of the woman. That to me is more like it's just, I don't know, I guess because I'm a father, man, it just seems more of gruesome, you know what I mean? So
yeah. I mean, look, it's an emotional issue.
Like it's an emotional
you biased because you're a father and you feel like that's a kid, but like I'm saying,
it's not really at that point.
Yeah, because a lot of things is outside of my level of conception. Like I can't know the body as deeply as a biologist or a scientist or a doctor. So
me neither.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So a doctor could look at that same thing that you're looking at, like, oh, it's a baby, and a doctor like, well, that's just fetal like tissue or embryonic matter or whatever. I'm not seeing what you're seeing, you know what I'm saying? Because you got the untrained eye. So, I don't want to get stuck on that too long. Our theme right now is what happened to protecting the black women, right. And I see that in the media lately. The reason why we came up with that title is I see that there's been a shift. Now, the Kevin Samuels guy, I think he gets some unfair criticism. I think he gets some valid criticism, but obviously him criticizing women is popular right now. Very entertaining, but I'm saying it's popular, whether you agree with the content or not. I see a lot of blaming on Jada for what Will did. I see people blaming Gabrielle Union for what people perceive to be a unstable family environment. And one that keeps popping up in the media that I want to really get into is Meg the Stallion. I think it's fascinating that as we're seeing a lot of details come out about the case between her and Tory, it seems like people don't believe Meg.
She dropped that song. She dropped that song called Plan B, right?
She did. Keeping on the theme of abortion, she did drop a little snippet of the song Plan B. Yeah. I like that. I see what you did, Bob. That's a good segue.
So what I'm saying with that, for her, and she was talking about in the song how she took the Plan B. She said never took the Plan Bs. But let's get into do you feel that she's lying about her situation with Tory Lanez?
No, I believe Meg.
No, you
I
believe
believe
Meg.
Meg. Yeah. I
But
know that's an
do you
unpopular
feel
opinion
right?
right now.
No. It has nothing to be about being unpopular.
Yeah.
Do you believe she had sexual intercourse with Tory Lanez?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I could see how people perceived it to be that way.
Right.
But I'm a strong believer in looks can be deceiving.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't know about that. She denies it. He's saying something different. I don't know.
Right. We don't know, you know. But the Plan B song is kind of, you know, it just
Well, let me ask you, wait, before we get too much further, let me ask you this. Do you believe Meg?
I believe that this
man,
could
come
be
on, man. We gotta nail you down to an answer sometimes,
because
man.
I gotta keep it real with you. Listen, it's a
let's
difference
start with
between
the answer
listen,
and then you can justify it. Do you believe
right.
it?
Do I believe what she's saying?
Do you believe
it's
it when
two
she
ways.
says Tory shot her?
I can't really give you. I mean, I can. This is what I can tell you though. All right, this is what I can tell you. This could be marketing. If this is marketing, if she's marketing, I can't tell you. You know, this could be a whole. Now,
sir,
if you,
sir, respectfully,
go ahead.
I'm just trying to get a straight answer out of you. Do you think she's lying when she says Tory shot me? Do you believe her? She says me and Tory never had sex and he shot me. Do you think she's lying?
Well, from the evidence said that he didn't have any residue on his hand. So if I had to go about, did I think he shot her? No, I didn't. I don't think he shot her then because evidence proved that he didn't have any gunpowder residue on his hand.
Yeah, okay.
So that's the only reason why I would go with that. From that, if I had to choose, did he shoot her in the foot? The evidence said he didn't have no gunpowder in his hand, so I would go with. I don't believe he shot her in the foot.
What evidence says he didn't have gunpowder on his hands?
It's just a report that said, he didn't have that. So I could it be true or not? I mean, that's something we would have to.
Is this something that you looked into deeply?
I ain't gonna look into it deeply, but it was just a report. It could be true, could not be true.
Okay, but fair enough.
You want me to tell you if I believe or not, and I don't want to give you a belief where I have to have real substance to believe or not to believe. I can't just.
I mean, did you read an article or did you hear what somebody said or did you see a headline? Like,
I read an article.
Do you remember who wrote the article?
I can't tell you who wrote the article. No, I don't remember who wrote the article. That's why it's hard for me to just say what I believe or not, because I don't have the factual evidence. I don't want to just.
And look, that's a good point. I think it's fine with saying that, I kind of brushed over. I don't remember. It's been a while. There's been new developments with this case. I think that's fine. I'm not putting you on the spot for that. Saying you ain't on trial.
Right.
I'm saying, but I think that's what's happening. I think that people is moving around, cooking for the kids, going to work, trying to get the LLC off the ground, and they're just seeing little headlines and stuff like that, and they're watching the interview, and it's all this talk. And I think that the Meg is losing in the court of public opinion. Now, what I'll say to you, I think that there are reports that he had gunpowder on his hand, right? I think that what you might be confused with is there was reports that the when they were looking for the prints of of Tory's prints on the gun,
right,
it came back as inconclusive. Now, we not cops or nothing like that,
right?
But I've heard some lawyer opinions on that, and the term inconclusive, I think people are getting that mixed up. It doesn't mean that,
it's just to mean that they can't come to a conclusion. Okay. Right.
So we're not saying his prints was on the gun. We ain't saying it ain't. We saying we
now you see where I come from. I'd be kind of unconclusive,
That's what I'm trying to say. So let me ask you this. Are there times? Do you think there's been times in the hood where somebody got shot and the nigga who shot him, Prince, was inconclusive? Do you think that that's possible? Do you think that's happened before?
Yeah.
Okay, so I know that's a possibility. Now,
Possibility.
you said that you think she's lying about Tory shooting her. Do you even think that she got shot?
I heard another report that she was dancing 2 days later. I don't know if that's true. Have you seen her on crutches or anything?
Yeah, I saw
You
her on
did?
crutches or something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just conflicting reports, but for me to say, I hope, she wouldn't make up nothing like this. I don't want to,
Okay, if we can, aside from what you hope,
right.
do you think she got shot that night?
Do I
It
think
seems
she
like
got
you're
shot?
expressing doubt because you're saying she was dancing a few days later. Are you implying that you don't believe she got shot because she was dancing? You think the recovery was too quick? Is that what you're saying? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think that from the marketing that I got on the situation, that it could inflect. I don't know if it was marketing or I don't know if these were actual facts. So, if that was actually true, it would sway my decision that she didn't get shot in the foot. But that could be not true at all. Some of the stuff, like you
Okay, so
said.
if you had to give a yes or no answer, I'm really just trying to get a straight answer out of you. Do you think that she got shot that night from the reports that you've seen or what you remember?
From
Like
what I
just
got
your opinion.
marketed to, I don't think she got shot that night. I
Wow.
can't say the reports. I can say what I got marketed, what got marketed to me that came across,
See,
to make
this is very interesting. This is very telling because what you're speaking to is that Tory is winning in the court of public opinion. Somehow he's been able to get people to feel like I don't even know if she got shot at this point. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing her crying on the show. She says she wants. I know he smashed. If she lying about that, she lying about. But let me tell you where I'm at. I think she got shot, Bob. The surgeon from the hospital. Now they got a medical report from the hospital. I believe the doctors at the hospital more than I believe Megan and Tory, to be honest with you.
Right. Me too. I would too.
They said that they pulled bullet fragments out of both her foot. They said it was some bullet fragments they had to leave in her shit. So what you have right now.
So you believe Tory Lane shot her in the foot, basically.
Now look, I think that that's the most likely scenario, right? That he shot her. But I'm not 100% sold on if he shot her, but I'm leaning towards that. So if I had to look, I'm gonna give you a straight answer, like I was trying to get out of you. Yeah, I think he should. If you're asking me what I think, my opinion right now, my tentative conclusion is yes, I think he shot her. But let me lay out why I think he shot her.
Right.
I'm following the facts and taking it where it leads me. Now, when I first heard the story, I'm like, what? Why would he shoot Meg? I thought they was a thing. Like, this sounds fishy. But what's come out is she got shot. She went to the hospital. They pulled bullet fragments out. So I'm like, yo, I believe you got shot. What leads me further to believe that she got shot is the gunpowder residue was found on two people that was there. The homegirl and on Tory. Now, if she got bullet fragments in her foot and y'all got gunpowder residue on y'all hands or around y'all hands, now we'll deal with who shot you later. But I believe she got shot. I don't think she could have faked that. It ain't enough marketing in the world. You know what I'm saying? And then I want to apply Occam's razor. If there's two plausible scenarios, I should prefer the one that requires the least amount of assumptions. That's too much for me to think that the doctor's making it up and there was a somebody on the grassy knoll that might have shot, man. He said, I ain't, he playing this Babe in the Woods routine. And then I saw him on the live where he was talking about how many bones was in a foot, and if she really got shot, don't you think that a bone would have broke or something like that? And look, you ain't finna fool me with that, bro. The surgeons say they pulled bullet fragments out the girl's foot. She got shot that night by somebody. Now, Meg also says that she heard Tory say, "Dance, bitch, dance." We don't have a recording of that, but the victim is saying she heard you say, "Dance, bitch, dance." Then we saw the text message where he's apologizing to Meg. Now, we don't know what he's apologizing for, but you felt guilty about something. You know what I'm saying? We don't know. You know what I'm saying? We don't got no smoking gun or nothing like that. But we know, they found a gun too. We know a gun was there.
Yeah, they said it was 40 cal, right?
I don't remember the name of the gun, but if you got a good memory, if you remember that, I don't think it was no 40 cal. She ain't hit with no 40 cal. I'm gonna go ahead.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think that bullet fragment wouldn't have stayed in, but that's what I got marketed to. Okay?
Yo, everything below the knee would have been gone. You feel me? If it was the 40, if she got hit with that 40, she would have been dancing. Right. She would have needed more than crutches. You feel me? So I don't really know, but I'm just saying, the 40, I'm thinking it would have been way more damage. So
been a lot worse.
We got a gun recovered, right? We got gunpowder residue. We got a victim. What else do we have? The gun was found close to Tory. It was close to him. It was within close proximity.
Yeah, well.
So my whole thing is, what scenario? Okay, I'm putting a theory that goes with the facts. Like, it fits around those facts. Like, I'm saying I think Tory shot her, right? The facts that we got, to me, fit around that. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you're telling me that you don't think she got shot or you don't think Tory shot her, where's the scenario that makes sense? Like, show me what it looks like. What could have happened that night?
What could have happened?
That makes more sense than Tory shot her. Like,
well, from reports, and like I said, this was marketed to me, that she got into it, like she no longer, like she fell out with her friend. It was a friend that she fell out with. And I think Tory had reports that, he was messing with the friend. So, and didn't they say the friend had gunpowder residue on her hands too?
Yeah, I think they might have said that, yeah.
So maybe Tory instructed the friend to shoot her in the foot.
Is that a crime?
Huh?
Is that a crime?
Yeah.
All right. So that's kind of like, I mean, would you? I still feel like that counts as him shooting her. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hey, of course.
Yeah. So you're
no, I don't think it counts. I don't think it counts as him shooting her. I think it counts as him getting her foot shot. You get what I mean? But
okay.
I don't think he shot her. You get what I mean? But I think he was the reason behind her getting shot. You know what I mean? Okay. But that could be the scenario to me. I mean,
All right.
But
okay.
It's just, how I would give you another scenario that could happen. But
I think about the girl like sleeping with him or whatever. That sounds like some he said, she said type shit.
Could be.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, who cares? You know what I'm saying? We don't got no receipts for that. I don't know who was having sex with who. Tory said he was knocking both of them down. Meg say she never smashed Tory. If the other girl smashed Tory and Meg wasn't smashing, then what she got to be mad like, and then if that was the scenario, shouldn't Meg be shooting somebody? Like, if she's so pressed about them being together, like how she ended up getting shot. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't.
Yes, it does sound a
Like I
little
don't.
weird.
I'm trying to make sense of the other because I know you're. I see that there's some doubt in your mind, so I'm thinking that you got another likely scenario like it could have been. I heard people saying at some point that maybe Megan got abusive and was drunk with Tori, and he had no choice but to defend himself. Are you buying that at all?
No,
Like,
no. I mean, he is a little small though. She. I mean, but I don't see that as a case.
do you
But we
think
do
that this?
have. Hmm?
Okay, go ahead.
We do have clips of her interview, and how she explained everything that happened. But
Oh yeah, we
um,
do got dude the body language dude. You want to play a little bit of him for the
yeah,
audience?
let's play a little bit of him and see what he says about the situation as a body language analyst, expert.
Okay, let's I got it queued up. I'm gonna we're gonna do something experimental. Screen share. Okay, let's just go entire screen this time. Let's fill this thing up. Hopefully our screen don't get clapped or something like that. All right. You see it, Meg? Bob,
Yeah,
you see
got
Meg?
it.
Okay. I'm
Yep.
gonna go ahead and play.
Stallion about this whatever happened with Tory Lanez that allegedly shot her in her feet. And she gave an interview today with Gail King talking about this topic and just trying to get the truth out before the trial. That it's I don't know in how much time it is. I'm trying to like I'm still making sense. I was reviewing this case a few months ago. It was from 2020, right, when it happened originally, and she's trying to uh, tell her version of the story or how it happened according to herself. You know that in every trial, in every event, you have different versions of what happened. In this case, I'm going to take a look strictly at her body language and very important moments of her declarations and her statements. And what did Gail King ask her, and how did he answer? If she telling the truth, or is she lying, or is she hiding something, or ultimately her version is the one that we have to uh, believe in. Let's take a look at this. And I already prepare to make this far easier. I already prepare a video with a few annotations. Okay, and let's go one by one. This is almost at the start of the video. Gail King is asking her about her parents. She lost her parents. She lost her father when she was
Oh,
15 years old, and she lost her.
I, I don't know. I mean, you buying this guy so far?
I
Bar what you
mean,
saying?
I don't want to. I don't want to. I want to hear. I don't
I
know.
mean,
He's kind
should we skip ahead a little bit? I don't know. He's kind
of,
of
yeah, I
going a
think we
little.
should skip ahead until he gets to
Okay,
the.
let's see.
But that's like normal friend stuff. Like, yeah, she even raises her shoulder. Like, it's a half shrug, and I'm gonna give it to her that well, this was no big deal. Okay, what was already happened, and that is the first thing that I do not understand, and it's a contradiction that we're gonna be seeing in in this analysis. Okay, she says that what happened is that shots were fired. Okay, effectively shots were fired. Okay, because there's this contradiction that she did not was not shot, but instead that she stepped on glass. That is a very important distinction between those two statements. And she initially, we're gonna see that she initially told the police that she had stepped on glass, and we're gonna understand why did she do that. But first, we don't know why anyone would have to feel the need to uh, sh- start shooting, right? And as in her declaration, as her body language is like it was no big deal what was happening at that moment. But we begin to see signals here. Okay, let me move this. Okay, much better this way. We're gonna see signals here. When he twists her mouth like that, she feels frustration because okay, nothing was happened. But when she recalls the events, notice that Joe, like like pushing to one side, she pushing her jaw to one side. That is frustration. Okay.
All right, that's a good point to chime in on. Oh, hold on. I will stop sharing. And come back and holler at you. Now, I encourage everybody to, go check that guy out, the body language guy, and see it its entirety. We don't want to be unfair with the guy. We just gonna watch a little bit of clip. But with that clip, when he's saying, the position of the mouth, and she's saying, you think this guy's testimony like is compelling? We know that in that video. I know you've seen the video, in its entirety, and he basically thinks she lying, right?
He basically saying it's conflicting, how she's explaining the story. It doesn't seem like she's totally truthful with everything. He's not saying that she's just totally lying on everything. It's just saying it's missing pieces. But I can understand that because it's criminal case going on. We don't know who she's trying to protect. We don't know the whole parameters. So that could be normal for someone getting on TV and speaking about a situation. You get what I mean?
Yeah, like to me, me, I like to have the Socratic mindset. I like to be skeptical of things. I think part of being right about things is trying to prove people wrong or prove yourself wrong. So when I'm listening to what this guy is saying, I'm saying the first thing I'm going to do is, if I'm getting information, especially from the media or something like that, the first thing I'm going to do is consider the source. Is he a credible source of information? Is body language, is body language even a real science? I was considering that. So while I'm listening to the dude, I looked it up. Now, a simple Google search, right? We probably should go deeper into it. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to ask, is body language a pseudoscience? And what the first thing that came up is, like many other kinds of forensic science, body language analysis has been shown to be unreliable. The technique could unjustly sway judges and jurors in trials, says Denault. This is a quote from the Pop Science website, and it says this describes of they're saying that it's pseudoscience. To sum that up, I got the thing here. I'm looking. I don't know if I could even show that.
So basically,
I'm on Google.
What I'm trying to tell you is, so you're saying that if someone's speaking the truth passionately and they're not holding nothing back, you couldn't tell if someone is trying to not give away too much information. A trial's coming up. There's court cases got going on with this. So, not saying that she's lying, but it could be that where she's just not revealing or telling the whole story.
My whole thing is the body language is unreliable to me. I don't think that this is no exact science. So there's some people who look very sincere when they're telling complete lies. There's some people who are telling lies and they look like they're telling the truth. However, I was supposed to say that, so I'm getting mixed up. What I'm trying to say is people could fool you. Looks could be deceiving. I said that earlier. So I don't think that this guy is. You
don't think he's credible?
Yeah, for me, like that whole thing that he was doing, to me, it wasn't compelling. Now, some people who might believe that, but I think that's the kind of thing that would mess a trial up. You know what I'm saying? Like a guy like that, I think a jury might believe him and sway a jury a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Like it could be me on trial, you know what I'm saying? Innocent of a murder, you feel me? And they could have me in the deposition looking at me getting asked questions. I think they could have a guy like him, like I didn't kill nobody, but I think they could have him get up on the stand and be like, you know what? Mr. Israel, you know, was just the way that his mouth moved to the side. Did you see that? That kind of is indicative of somebody that's not being truthful, somebody that's trying to make up a story. In my expert analysis, I'd say his body language is giving liar. You know, I'm going to be honest, Judge. You know what I'm saying? I think that shit will sway a jury, but I personally think it's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even listen to a dude like him. I go by the facts and try to build a theory around that. And I'm still sticking with she had bullet fragments in her foot. There's not, you know, there was a bodyguard there too. The bodyguard's still cooler. He not saying that she lying. You know what I'm saying? The only person who's coming out saying that she's lying that I've heard is the guy who she's accusing of shooting her. He has a perfect motivation to lie and said it wasn't me. He tried to stay out of jail.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, makes sense.
So the girl ain't saying that she shot Meg, is she?
No, of course not.
So, you know, who if it wasn't you, then who shot her? That's all I'm saying. That would be my question to Tory. Okay, if it wasn't you, big dog, who shot her, bruh? He might say, I can't snitch, but I want to know, you know what I'm saying? I want to know, like, you got to give me more than that. You can't just be like, well, look, I ain't going to say who did it, but I ain't do it. You know what I'm saying? And you was the dude in the car, you was by the gun. I need more than that.
Right. So I got a question for you. When Tupac went to New York and he got shot up and he said he felt like Biggie and Puff had something to do with it, do you feel like Biggie and Puff had something to do with it?
Before I answer that, I'm just having a hard time trying to connect to see how this is relevant. Are you going to bring this back to the Meg thing?
Yeah, bring it back to the Megan.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna play along with you. I'm gonna play along with you. Do I think that Puff had something to do with Pop getting shot?
Puff and Biggie. When Pop went on that rant, he got hit up in the elevator. And he felt that Biggie.
Oh, me personally, do I think? No, I don't think that they had anything to do with that. No, I don't.
Right. So you heard when an accuser, somebody who got hit up, felt like somebody was responsible, and the people who was responsible was like, "Yo, we have nothing to do with that." So, and he was adamant that these guys had something to do with him getting shot.
Okay.
You know, I mean, he didn't go to the police or anything. This is totally different.
Yeah, he was accusing them though.
Yeah, I'm just bringing you a situation where people be accusing them of getting, hey, man, you had something, you got me hit, you know what I mean? You shot me, but were they really responsible for them getting shot? You know, we've had that before in the hip hop where, you know, people accuse them of getting shot or be behind them getting shot, you know?
Yeah, and the thing about that is, that's like he say, she say to me. That's kind of like with Tory saying that he smashed and Megan saying that he didn't smash. I feel like I'm trying to get away from the he say, she say and get down to what are the facts. Now, with that scenario, I would still follow the evidence. There was no evidence of Biggie having something to do with that. It was just he couldn't really talk. I just know that you got shot, but was there a text message? Was there a note? Was there a corroborating witness to say, yo, I knew about it. Biggie told me that he was going to have this done. I never heard nobody come out and say that. You know what I'm saying? But in this scenario, I'm going to tell you why it's a little bit different.
Yeah, it's different.
I'm gonna just tell you why I'm basing my opinion on, because I like to be an empirical thinker. I try to be a critical thinker with all of this stuff. We got gunpowder and we got a gun that's next to Tory. Now, if the scenario, you know, these did two different scenarios, but like say Pac felt it was Biggie and Biggie had gunpowder residue on his hands and we found the gun that was used in the robbery next to Biggie. and Biggie was in the same car as Pac, I'd be like, well, damn, Big, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's looking like you had something to do with that. Like, I feel where Pac's coming from. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have that with Pac. We just got Pac ranting, you got shot, you don't know what happened. You feel me? That's not Meg's scenario. Meg is with people that she knows. She says she heard somebody say, dance, bitch, dance. We know that it was bullets pulled out of her. We know that he had gun.
See Tory shoot her. Is she actually saying that?
Listen, I don't need that. You know what I'm saying? Like that wouldn't, I don't need that to convince me, like to put me at a tentative conclusion that, yeah, now there could be some factors that come out and I'll change my mind if it exonerates him. Like, well, now that we know this, I change, but where the facts are right now, I don't really need her to have been having locked eyes on him and the gun. If you're telling me a nigga told you dance, bitch, dance, you feel me? And that's the nigga who had the gun and you wound up shot, and then the nigga was saying sorry and then offered people to pay him $1 million to not say anything. I think that, yeah, I'm comfortable with believing that you shot her, bit dog. I wasn't there. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? We're going to let the courts decide. But if you asking me what I think he did. And it's strange to me that everybody else doesn't think that he did. It's strange to me that you're not the only person to tell me, I don't even think she got shot, dog. You know, I think she was just mad that he was smashing the homegirl. And, you know, she was lying on Gayle King. And, you know, this all a plot by Rock Nation to bring down a black man. And I've been hearing crazy stuff.
I mean, this is why, though. I'm going to tell you why you saying it feel like that. Marketing. I mean, people get marketed to different situations. And depending on what they heard, like you saying, it's public eye because certain things probably was false that was marketed to people, and they got this information, and that's how they feel. You know what I mean about it. So go ahead. I think it's all gonna come out, and we're definitely going.
Yeah, time will tell, and I think we'll get a better idea what's going on if this thing actually goes to trial, and I think we might see that. Also, I want to ask the question.
Yeah.
What do you think we learned, like, from these stories? Like, well, I know that we doing a research show. We talking about, you know, trending topics and stuff like that. But I think it would be positive if we try to extract a lesson from delving into these topics. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you think that we learned today from getting into these topics? I got a few things I think that I learned just from having the conversation.
What I learned from this is marketing is very strong to sway an opinion, you know. So
yeah,
you got to be careful with what you read and what you take in, because it could make you be on a side that you just got marketed to, you know, and you don't know, you just got marketed information. So
absolutely. I would agree with you. I think if I could say that another way, I think that we got to be careful of the messages that we consume from the media, because it could be hard to discern whether they're true or false or real or fake, and we can get swayed a certain way if we're not scrutinizing everything in a certain way. Like, we got to really be on our P's and Q's. Like, it's not enough to just read a headline and think that we got everything. I think we gotta put more thought into things, you know, because we're susceptible to getting fooled. Like you said, we're getting marketed to all day. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But that doesn't have nothing to do with public opinion. Public opinion is, by them marketing that, the majority of the public, nobody can change this, because whoever's going to market it the best first is just going to get to the public opinion. It's hard for me to say that the truth every time or the right situation is going to be marketed to the masses. You get what I'm saying?
You're right. And honestly, sometimes I think lies are easier to market than the truth. But this is what I think the solution can be. We as people, we have to make ourselves less susceptible to fall for bullshit, and we got to be better at consuming. We got to be more savvy consumers of media, and I think that we gotta be skeptical of shit. We gotta be shrewd. We gotta exercise really good judgment. Like we can't just go with the wave,
Right.
And I think that's a thing with like with this theme right now. Like it seemed like protecting black women is out of style. Now I don't want to be on here caping for black women. I don't want to pander to them. Like, I'm not trying to virtue signal like everything they do is right. I'm not on that. But I'm saying that with the stories that we talking about right now, I think that we need to be way more concerned with protecting women's rights, right? We started with abortion. When Hillary was going against Trump, everybody was saying that, a lot of people didn't want a woman president for one, and then they were saying that Democrats and Republicans are the same, right? It don't matter, right? And nobody was taking into account like how important it is to protect women. A lot of people knew that if Donald Trump got elected, he's gonna appoint a lot of conservative judges to the Supreme Court, and that could overturn Roe v. Wade. And that was a big reason why people were saying they're not the same. I was doing fundraising calls around this time. I fundraised calls for 3 years. I was on the phone talking to Democrats, Republicans, trying to convince them to vote, getting them to donate money, and that's what they were saying. Democrats and Republicans are the same, and it's not that big of a deal. Let's try something. Now I think that we're seeing the consequences of that, not protecting women's, right, because it's going to affect us as men, because if we can't get access to a safer, maybe you don't want one, Bob. I want one. It's gonna affect me. If she get an abortion, I don't want to have the baby. I'm gonna be like, baby, we gotta have a procedure. I don't have no qualms about it. I'm not worried about what's in a book or nothing like that. I'm going with the science. So I'm okay with having an abortion. So it's gonna affect me, and I'm not a woman.
Right.
So that's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing with the Megan thing, with being susceptible to misinformation. So, we fell for it. Democrats and Republicans are the same. Trump got in there, got those conservative judges, got them. Now, the way that's been marketed as us, they got us worried about the sex, the gossip. And they kind of threw us off. This is my opinion of the situation. Like, we worried about whether he was having sex, and he dropped a mixtape that was fire. It was enough for us to just doubt everything that people are more concerned with whether or not he smashed than whether or not there were bullet fragments in her foot. Like, that should be a more popular, you know what I'm saying? And then it was like they put out the stuff about, non-conclusive. People were reporting that, like academics, it seemed like he was, on the Tory bandwagon. He was like, he's exonerated. The prints are inconclusive. Like to say that was something that kind of let him off the hook. That wasn't good enough to let him off the hook to me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it was convincing to a lot of people, and I don't think people were being skeptical enough.
Right, and this is the point that I'm trying to make. Like, okay, we can be shrewd, we can be, trying to be on point with how we take in information, but that's not going to stop the marketing machine of getting public opinion going to where it needs to go. Because like you said, you see a lot of people. You see Rick Ross back hanging with Tory Lanez after they was beefing over the situation. You see Rihanna says she ain't following Megan the Stallion anymore. So it's a lot of people feel that,
Yeah, but let me slow you down just a little bit. We don't know why Rihanna unfollowed Megan. We don't know it's because if she don't, but that's speculation right there. Until we get a definitive answer from Rihanna, we don't know that. And then another thing, maybe we can't stop the media machines, right, from putting out false narratives, right? But
no, I ain't gonna say the media machines. I mean marketing, where people are trying to get views and likes.
Fine. People marketing, trying to get views or likes. I'm not saying that we can stop that. I'm saying that we could change how we react to it. That public opinion, we make that public opinion. So I say if we become a smarter community, we could kind of protect ourselves against that, because I think we're better off knowing the truth.
Yeah, of course.
You know, it's going to make us better people. We can make more effective decision making if we know the truth. So I'm saying we got to get better at that.
Definitely. And that's why we do this, what we do. We want to get different sides, and we don't want them to be one-sided to where you just getting this information. I need you to watch this. We need you to deep dive into this and to see where we coming from with the different angles that we see.
Yeah. And I think it's important that we spot logical fallacies when we can, and like highlight them. You know, like if I fall victim to something, I want to be clear about that, you know, and just show other people that it could happen, because it happens to the best of us, you know.
Yes, marketing. I mean,
yeah. And look, there's a good quote. They say anybody who thinks that they can't fall for a silly belief already has.
Right.
No. So
for real.
Yeah. So yeah. Oh yeah. One other thing I wanted to bring in, you know, with the whole theme of protecting Black women, right? I thought it was really interesting, and we could wrap up soon, but I thought it was interesting how Will smacked Chris Rock, right? You see how everybody's still blaming Jada for that? I'm not saying Jada's a saint, but you see how
saying that it's an attack on our Black women in society.
It feels like that. That's what it feels like. That's what I'm perceiving now. Now look, follow me. Let me land, because I got a point aside from the Jada thing. Also, people feel like the Wade household, like something's not right over there, you know, with his kid or whatever. That's a whole nother can of worms. But you notice that I saw memes in long ass paragraphs on my timeline where people were saying that this is Gabrielle Union's fault. Like ever since he got with Gabrielle Union, and ever since, you know, he's letting a woman run his household, look what happened to his kid. Look what, you know, why he's in a pit. So you see what I'm saying? How the woman is just the woman is getting blamed for things nowadays.
Yeah, I can see popular with that, but like I would say, just like we said, it could be great marketing. It could be that someone is trying to trigger opinions just to get this kind of, you know, it's her fault. It's Jada. And that could be marketed. So it seems like a problem. Yeah, it's Jada. It's her. But it's from someone coming at it from a marketing standpoint.
Well, we know that model, you know, kicking Black women's backs in, it seemed to be working really well. I mean, we have the I don't want to attack anybody. I'm just saying that these are criticisms out there about these guys. You know, I'll reserve my opinion about them, but you know, there's guys like Kevin Samuels, Tommy Sotomayor. These people are critical of Black women specifically, and it seems like it's popular. The Fresh and Fit podcast, you know, so that I'm saying that I feel where you're coming from. It seems like it's big business now. Like, you know, drag Black women and you're gonna get some views. People want to hear that.
And it may not be that they're really trying to drag them. It just may be like, I mean, I can get attention. It's interesting.
It's entertaining.
It's entertaining. Yeah. Let me put this spin on it. You know.
You know what? I think it's a little bit. I think to some degree, it's entertaining to me too. But is that wrong? Like, what's wrong with me? Like, why am I entertained by that? Like, when I hear Kevin Samuels telling like somebody about themselves, you know what I'm saying? Why is that funny to me? Is there something wrong with me? Like, I'm trying to figure it out. Do I like seeing women get dragged on some level? What do you think?
I think it's an interesting topic that, you know, that it makes people want to watch, because you're right. It's like we supposed to protect our Black women, but like you said, you know,
like he don't give a damn. Like,
yeah, I mean, right. So I mean, it's people watching it. Just like you said, it's a great point. So this may be great for entertainment news. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and to
To,
be fair, I just want to add this in, and to be fair, Kevin Samuels, he talks about getting people together too. He
yeah,
says that
I
he
don't
helps
want
people with
to.
their relationships. So there's two ways to look at it too. It's about how
He
you
does
perceive it.
dabble into other things too and talk about
It,
men. I
it
done
is
heard.
perception. I'm just saying he's perceived that way by a lot of people, and it seems like it gets some views. Like even if he is doing things to raise women up, I think there's a lot of people watching him to hear black women get dragged. Like
Right,
whether he's trying to do that or not, they're tuning in to watch a man get dragged.
right. So what I'm saying is, if we stop being consumers of this and making this as so interesting, maybe it wouldn't be women getting dragged. But if things is interesting to the public, these guys are going to keep marketing it because they're
Well, I'll
trying
tell you this.
to.
That's what I think that would be like one of my criticisms to Kevin Samuels, and maybe I could be wrong about that. But I think that, and Tommy Sotomayor too, and the Fresh and Fit, that whole manosphere space, like I see them citing a lot of statistics, but a lot of times these statistics are not cited to any reference. Like they're not going to say a study from this. They're just going to be like 70% of black men are come from this. And it's like, well, where can I look that up to independently confirm like that's what's going on? You just giving me all these numbers and I'm just supposed to take your word for it. Like, I think that's how, if somebody wanted to get at them and just raise a substantive conversation about what's really going on, what's right, what's wrong, that's where we should go on. Like, are these statistics that these guys are bringing on, are they even on point?
Right. Yeah, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, we've been going for a while. We had an hour and 21 minutes. We might as well go ahead. We don't want to give them too much.
We don't want to give them too much. Right, man. But hey, listen, I hope y'all found this show very interesting and very educational, because more talks like this is needed amongst the industry around this entertainment news and all this marketing that we're getting on a daily basis. So we just try to make sure.
we need more critical thinkers, mentally massaging things. There's a lot of people talking about topics and they in their feelings, they parroting what somebody else said, or I don't think they really being objective
Right.
about things. So hopefully we could, bring that to the table.
Definitely. So hey, listen, we're gonna catch y'all on the next installment. Cap, you want to go ahead and close them out?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's go ahead and we could close them out, man. It's time to blaze up the old dusty trail. We'll ride off into the sunset. Until the next time, I'm gonna leave them with the Facebook. We don't have a whole bunch of viewers right now. We're still trying to build a community, and we're starting from humble beginnings. But for the people who is out there, you can follow me and chime in about topics on my Facebook, JA space ISRAEL, Ja Israel on Facebook. Where can people reach out to you, Bob? You're so
Rob the Water God on Facebook, and you can get me at Rob the Water God on Instagram. Okay.
All right, man. Let us know if we got something wrong in the comments. If you disagree, if you agree, chime in. We want to get feedback from the community. We want to learn together. We want this to be a collaborative learning process. So don't be shy on that. We want to take feedback from the audience.
Exactly. So hey, we'll catch you guys on the next one.
All right.
Peace.